Pacc single. I am from Solutions INC. I have a company by the name of Solutions Inc. We are a project management company, more than 22 years old now, having more than 150 engineers on our rolls. We are majorly into hospitality sector. We do largely hotels, hospitals, stadiums, shopping malls, all sorts of building projects we specialize in. And that's a short brief on Solutions Inc.
Hi, good morning. My name is Haraprasad Panda. I represent a company called Capstone Services Limited as its executive president. So we are into complete human capital solution, be it security, facility management, technical and complete manpower solution. We have 30,000 employees across India. So happy to be here.
Hi, morning everyone. My name is Babajan Sheikh. I am Director of Physical Security for a company called Pfizer, which is the largest fintech globally. Thank you.
Morning everyone, I'm Purvesh Gada. I am a security and a safety consultant. I have a company called Cimex Info Solutions. We consult for large premises, especially in risk consulting, security risk consulting and electronic security and safety consulting. Being in the industry for so long, I see a lot of people who I have worked with, who have worked with me, and a lot of friends here. So nice to be here.
Hi, I'm Captain Sajid. I'm associated with Intuit Inc., which is a Fortune 500 company, and been in the industry for about 20 odd years. Served in the army earlier and then in various sectors. Thank you.
Super. Thank you everyone for introducing. Lastly, I'm Puneet. I work for PricewaterhouseCoopers. Been part of the industry for last 20 odd years now. Started with multiple consulting assignments, and now I lead the forensic space for PwC in India. So with this, let's just delve into the topic of hospitality. As we all know, and we've been talking about it, this is a service industry. And when we walk into a hotel or a hospitality area, we expect that we want to be on the top of things. We want to be taken care to the hilt. Now, when we want all of that to happen, there are challenges that go behind for a security, safety, crisis managers who are part and parcel of this industry to try and navigate the system so that you don't feel the pressure. We've seen multiple scenarios in the past where operations issues, public access issues, people missing issues, etc., all crop up, and all the blame primarily comes and sits into the hospitality industry. There's a lot been done. You've seen what happened when there were no controls. You've seen what happened in the Mumbai attacks. You've seen in some incidences that have sprung up in different parts of the country and the world where things have not worked. And the drawback of all of this is that the institution where it happened takes all the beating and the blame. So how do we as professionals within the industry directly either being part of it, and that's where I wanted Mandar primarily, and on the other side of advising these organizations, play a very reasonable part to kind of put these dots together. So the endeavor today primarily will be that how, with the experience that lies on the dais here, try and get into those few specific areas that each one of us would want to kind of play a part in. So that's primarily what we are trying to do in the next 40 odd minutes. And as I said, please feel free to kind of ask your questions right up front. So I'll start off from my right, since Purvesh is on my right, in no particular order. Purvesh, you've been a consultant. You've worked on the other side in the armed forces, plus you worked as a consultant, and now you have your own firm trying to help organizations mitigate the strategy. So can you tell me what proactive strategy that one would adopt in an industry like this and set the context so that we can then ask the larger team around?
I can give the thought process of hospitality sector, what they are currently thinking in terms of mitigating, understanding the threats and mitigating the threats, what they are thinking, especially hospitality. Now, In hospitality, the definition of hospitality, I'll increase a bit for the purpose of this conversation, not just hotels and all, but also if I can extend it to, functions like co-working space, which is Dhanush here, he's a part, kind of a hospitality, events. Lot of us, like sir and all, have done a lot of events. We becomes a part of hospitality, airlines and things like that. So the core characteristic of a hospitality premises or a hospitality function is that they are a soft target. So the approach to understanding the risks and mitigation is a bit different than the regular security thought process that we have in the industry. What the companies are generally doing these days are they are looking at the risk holistically. The other point that is very, very important in this, when I'll touch the part of holistically, but other point that is very, very important in this, although they want the best of the security, they still do not want the security to be intrusive. So it's a kind of a fine balance that people have to make, and I don't know how, sir, you are maintaining the balance here, but it's a very, very difficult task from managing the expectation of people and to keeping them fully secure here. So a couple of things that I would want to touch upon in terms of holistic security that they are actually looking at is, they are not looking at the threats just from a premises standpoint. They are actually looking at the micro environment, macro environment. How is the geopolitical, socio-economical condition around here? How would it affect the premises? Either this is either a permanent premise or a event which is a temporary premises. And not only that, they are looking at risk one time, but they are actually assessing the risk ongoingly, because the risk that this premises faces today is not the risk what it will face tomorrow or the day after. And that will even be, in terms of hours, because if there is a procession going around here or a political rally going around here in passing through this, the risk suddenly goes high. So risk assessment is one thing which they are really looking at getting it done very well, understanding, and accordingly they are integrating the people process technology part of it, which means that they are really combining everything. Hospitality is what is about making people feel comfortable and welcoming, yet secure. So getting people process technology, non-intrusive systems, non-intrusive technologies, a lot of things, behavioral analysis. So these are the things that they are thinking of from a proactive standpoint. So from a proactive standpoint, I can actually rate them as top 3 industries which will be thinking really proactive. Hospitality should be one of them, apart from, something like defense and all, but hospitality also surely comes very high in that. Sir.
No, thank you for that. So this navigates me to probably Sajid, you then for your next question. Is that how do, and I'll come back to, well, Purvesh talked about the larger hospitality industry. Let me go back to specific to hotels, right? So from your perspective, and in kind of the work that you do, what challenges do hotels really face to comply with the safety and security regulations per se? That's point number 1. And how do you think that we can navigate this a little better to primarily maintain a lot of the operational efficiency, etc.? Right? So we did talk about doing a risk assessment that Purvesh said, but that's holistic. Can we go a little deeper into what really complies for a hospital, or rather a hotel?
Sure, thank you. As Purvesh just mentioned, I mean, he hit the ball out of the park, and now that's the problem with being the second person speaking. We need to come up with better ideas. Yesterday, I had a chance to connect with the chief officer here, and that gave me a lot of insights. As he mentioned, the hotel industry is a pretty strange industry when it comes to compliance. The world that I come from, the IT industry, it's pretty smooth because you have employees, you can dictate what is expected of them. Now, this is kind of a public place and also a residential space. So here is the trick. When we just imagine when you walked inside the premise, how was it? Was it very intrusive? Absolutely not. But did it comply with all the requirements? Yes, it did. Now, this is a thin line which needs to be drawn and handled. The guy at the gate is supposed to stop your car, he's supposed to check the undercarriage, then there is supposed to be bollards, you're supposed to pass through a DFMD, a door frame metal detector, and you're also checked with a handheld detector. Most of the things that happen in an airport, and also pass your suitcase through the X-ray machine. But look at the experience that you have at the airport and the experience that you had here. There is a vast and subtle difference that comes across. And that's one of the keys. Now the challenge is compliance. There may be a hot-headed guy who comes in and says, no, I will not have my bag pass through the scanner. What does the person who is standing there now do? Here's where training comes in, and it's a key aspect. Everyone is aware about the L1 concept when you award a contract to people. That person who is standing there must be recruited from some rural place, and we expect that we provide an Uber experience to the people who are coming in. So the kind of training that needs to be imparted is unprecedented. It just cannot happen that the CSO makes a training calendar कि फलाना दिन में ये training होगा, फलाना दिन में ये training होगा, and eventually what hands up comes down is जिस दिन training है उस दिन Bhoop Singh goes on छुट्टी. He is more concerned about the crops which needs to be harvested than about your training here. So his annual leave definitely comes there. Year over year when this happens, Mr. Bhoop Singh, though on paper seems to be absolutely trained, is not. So these are challenges, a couple of challenges, and in the interest of time I would stop there. And how to mitigate, that's where we come in, and we have a humane touch. We ensure that the human capital is taken care of. There are a lot many aspects with regards to technology and things which probably I'll cover later. Thank you so much.
No, thanks, Ajit. And well, you dwelled in well. You gave the larger picture and you talked about technology. So since you talked about technology, I'll probably get a question on technology done, and then we'll come back to basics. So maybe Parag, then to you. The next question is: we obviously talked about having a holistic risk assessment. We talked about having a seamless experience, and I kind of agree with Sajid that when we are in the airport, we are complying and we are quiet. But the same people who come out to a hotel industry are very different when they walk in the hotel, right? And you would have seen this example very specifically. When you travel abroad, the same individual, and I'm sorry, but we are a 1.4 billion people, and when we travel abroad, the minute we land into a different country, we are a different person. All the rules automatically come in. We don't cross the roads, we don't throw litter, we stand in the line. But the same person takes the flight back home, lands into a Mumbai or Delhi, is completely switched off to a different person. Right? What went wrong? I'm still grappling with that thought, that what is really happening to us? What changes or what goes into us when we go out, and what changes back when we come in? Now, all this is really what we as in security professionals struggle with in our day-to-day life, right? It's very easy to sit on one side, and I'm a consultant, right? So it's very easy to write policies, procedures, put things into perspective and say, hey, do this. But putting them into practical experience and really implementing them is really where the challenge comes in. It's because how do you manage these 1.4 billion people who come from different walks of life and have a different thought process the minute they enter an airport vis-a-vis they enter into a serviceable industry area. Right? So coming to that point to you, how do you really design and put a layout in place that can effectively manage these challenges that we have?
So you have actually rightly said, all these challenges that everybody faces, and one expects certain things out of any hospitality, project. The main challenge again lies with the person who was coordinating all the set of consultants who are involved in designing that project. Right from the architect who's giving the concepts, to the MEP consultants, to the FLS consultants, to the FLS auditors, to the brand standards. So getting all these people in the right perspective together on a table and planning and designing the entire project is a big challenge. And that is where we come into play. So as project managers, we have to coordinate all these people, bring them to a common platform and say this is right, this is wrong, this is okay. We have to cater to the interior designers' wish and desires also. That my sprinkler cap should not be white, they should not be black, they have to be matching to my ceiling colors. So all those things, so small petty things. I don't need big cameras to be popping out somewhere. They have to be somewhere hidden. So in one of my projects, I'm putting all the cameras in a cove, so they're practically not visible. So you're seeing a ceiling, it is not there. So all these challenges are there while we are designing and implementing a project. So designing is one part. Then again, implementation is another part. So again, in implementation, we have to train the engineers down the line, the contractors down the line, the people down the line, get into a different mode. So it's a very, very complicated process. And to get those dreams come true, because see, hospitality, I've been doing hospitality all my life, right from Grand Hyatt Delhi, that was my first project, to now I'm doing 4 Oberois, I'm doing Hilton, Westin, Ritz-Carlton, all those. Every brand has a different expectation level. Very, very different expectation level. So to meet those expectations, and we are very thankful to the brands also that now, for past 5-7 years, they have put those FLS standards as a standard. So there is a brand standard which we have to follow. So all our consultants down the line have to follow that. So there is a check and there is a cross check. Besides the local HBC laws or the other laws, we have those PAPA laws, a lot of things which are happening internationally also. We have to bring that flavor into our country. So I think it is a very challenging thing and we are doing it very well. I think God bless us all, and it should be, we all should be very happy about it, that we are feeling safe, secure, still being in a luxury kind of an environment, It's like a butler service, I would say, So the butler is there, he's standing somewhere. Whenever you need him, he's out. But otherwise, he's always hidden. So you feel secure, kuch hai to sahi mere saath, That's the kind of thing that we,
So
try to
Parag,
achieve.
I'll probably just ask you a little more added on to this, right? You talked about having all of this in place, which is perfect. And we in the earlier session also we heard that how we kind of put cameras or we retrofit security into the industry by not planning it well, right? So things that could have probably happened with 300 cameras, they've deployed 1,000 cameras. We just heard, I think Deepak talk about it earlier. That's one. So that's where we really come in. Point number 2, when you kind of say we have all of this in place, I still feel that specific to the hospitality industry, we are still rated in the red category. That means if you go to a Marriott, you go to a Hyatt, and to other international brands, when it comes to India, the security framework or the control framework that they put is always red. It's never green or amber. That means they say we will deploy 100% of it. But after deploying 100% of it, how would you kind of help the audience understand to manage really the crisis portion of that?
So crisis management, is a very challenging task. And crisis could be because of a security threat. It could be because of a natural calamity. It could be because of any, a fire which has happened somewhere, or some terrorist attack, or any kind of thing. Look, I'll just give you an example of crisis management. I was building a hotel in Chennai, since we are in Chennai. And this was a few years back. This was a Feathers by Radha in one of these places, 200-room hotel, and floods came in. The hotel was ready, about to open in about a month's time. The operations staff, the general manager had joined, the chief engineer, everybody was there, and there were sudden floods. We had just a window of 1.5 hours to evacuate everyone from the basements. There were 2 basements. And mind you, after 1.5 hours, water was at 1 feet above the ground level, at the lobby level. So that was a crisis situation. Now, if we don't have, sufficient wide staircases or well lit up staircases, and unobstructed staircases, what happens during the course of construction or post-construction also? People would put in something or the other and block those staircases or block those walkways and block the fire tender paths also. The setbacks have been given for a certain reason. Now you will find some old machinery lying somewhere in the setback area, and the fire tender is not able to move. What do? Nobody is able to help you out in that. So all those things are part of the crisis management. So if it is all done effectively, planned, managed and executed, and then post-construction also, somebody is taking good care of it. I mean, somebody needs to have head over his shoulders to understand that this is important, boss. You need to have that kind of thing on your head. It is important. We need to be fire, life, safety compliant, security compliant. And then things will fall in place. So it's only the mindset which has to change, which has changed over the years, and I think it will change subsequently more also.
No.
Puneet, if I can
Yeah,
add a perspective to this, the unique part of hospitality in crisis management, I'm telling you, this is a really unique part, is that if it is a premises, IT premises, everyone is trained on a regular basis. Fire drills are conducted. Every staff is trained. Here, only a few staff are there trained. Guests keep on changing every day. So the crisis is being managed for people who are not trained, and that's the tricky part which they have to handle well. That's why all the controls are very, very required.
No, absolutely, and rightly mentioned by you that you need to have your head on the shoulders, right? And also was mentioned earlier by Sajid that you need to have, what do you do with people who come from a remote area and are actually supposed to do stuff for us in a very systematic manner?
So security drills, everything,
Right.
they have to happen regularly.
Yeah. So that's a good segue into probably my next question, and that's to you, Haraprasad, is all of it is finally boiling down that we have the controls in place, we have the right cameras, but it's all coming down to the human element. Now, when it comes to the human element, I'm saying the key challenge is how do you really have people trained or really have people think on their feet when a crisis happens or when an event happens, right? And I keep going back to my old example, and that's what I would like to you to come in, is that when the Bombay attacks happened, a lot of people in Oberoi was sitting in the restaurant, right? When this happened, they actually started to run away, which gave the terrorists the option to actually find each one of them and gun them down. Now that's where the head on the shoulder really comes onto the picture, where you could have just waited down or lied down there for the next half an hour, and you could have just saved your life. But people don't react on that aspect. People don't, when a crisis happens, you really think the other way around. So in this case, my next question to you is that, there are key challenges in recruiting qualified staff, but specifically from a security personnel and specifically to hospitality, what would you recommend one should do? And what is the next way forward for us as a country?
Yeah, thank you. See, as we all know that hospitality industry, specifically hotel industry, is soft target. We all spoke about that because we get every time the new people. It's not the office staff who are regularly sitting in that place and all. So security definitely plays a major role. And we also spoke about that how the human behavior changes in airport or abroad and all. So we don't have to go to abroad. Here only in India, if you look at to give you one typical example before getting into the question about the human behavior, all of us know Bharat Biotech, who has given us the vaccine. So Bharat Biotech is in Hyderabad. Opposite to that, another pharma company called Advanta Pharma. Because of the vaccine thing, it has been guarded by CISF. Okay. So the other company which is there opposite, it is guarded by us. The local sarpanch, local leader, the petty leaders, kuji leaders, whatever we call them, they come to this place. They don't go to the Bharat Biotech because CISF is there. They will not look at whether you are MLA, sarpanch and all. They will use their lathi. Correct? The security who is there standing at the Advanta Pharma, he will have to listen because he has to go back to his home. And he might be a localite person there, or he might be coming from outside and staying in that village. Whatever he will say to them, it will reflect in the evening to him or her. Okay, but where CISF is standing, they will not go there because they know CISF will not speak, their stick will speak. Correct? So that's the human behavior. So when we are looking at the security, so we should look at security at that angle, as all the panelists has told, that nobody from the town joins the security agency or work as a security guard or security personnel. We get from the remotest of the village, poorest from the family who comes and do the job. So we have to understand two mindsets. One is the security mindset and another is the guest mindset. Who are the guests? So there are different kind of guest, like the domestic traveler, domestic business traveler, who starts around, all of us starts around 6 o'clock in morning from our home, go to airport, then come to the place, go to the meetings. 90% cases we don't check in, we go to the meetings and come for check-in in the evening. All of us does that. So after 4 or 5 client meetings, when you come around 7 o'clock, your mind is not in right frame. You just need a peg or a tea or whatever, go to bed kind of thing. That's your mindset. When some expert is coming, he or she must have traveled almost 12 to 15 hours journey in the flight. That mindset is different. They are here, they just want to go to bed or swimming pool, whatever the thing. So then another set of guests who are coming for holiday, either with spouse or with the family, they are here only for chilling out. Another set of guests, like conference people like us, who comes to the, we don't have to do anything, that we know that we have to sit, listen from some panel, and then lunch break, then tea break, then, so those kind of guests we get. The person who is receiving us, the first point of contact, I'm coming to the other side, to the security. That person has come from the remotest village, and 90% of this, I will correct me, 90% of the security job is a standing job. All of us must have seen, it's a standing job. It's not practically possible for somebody to stand for 12 hours. Can we stand? No. But the security guard, they stand for 12 hours continuously in that place. Think about their state of mind. So when two, what you call different state of minds meet, definitely it will not be, and we have been taught, the security people have been taught, Atithi Devo Bhava. In India, we call guest is God. So the person, the security guard who is standing, we expect him or her to be hospitable. At the same time, he or she has to be compliant or strict to the security norms. These two are different things. It's not possible unless until the training has been, particular training has been given to them, and it is both way process as guest. So like we are talking about the human behavior. I'm staying in 22 floor, so I have given a card which takes me to 22nd and 24th. 24th is the gym and swimming pool. Only 2 floor access is there. Suppose somebody is coming with me, not punching his card or her card, going with me, going to 22nd floor, I have gone to my room, whatever he or she has done in that floor, I don't know. It is also my responsibility to ask, sir or madam, please swipe your card. If we are going to the same floor also, you can also swipe your card. So that's where the challenge comes in. And another thing is that this industry, the security industry, people change their job with 100 rupees hike. All of us know that 100 rupees hike in take home, they change their job because it's something like 7-8% of their take home. Okay, so when we are looking at that person is a very critical resource for us, who is the first point of contact for my guest check-in, point of contact for all my crisis management. I was sharing with sir that in Hyderabad there are, because today not only the room check-in guest, we talk about all the events. All the events, people want it to be memorable. So there is no normal birthdays, there is no normal marriage functions. It's all are like event managed celebrity events. So one of the event was happening in Hyderabad in one of the 5-star hotel, wherein it was the company has done. I'll not take the name of the company. I'll not take the name of the hotels. The company did very good for that particular year. The sales meet was happening. The people got bonus and all. They were happy. Just 1.5 years back, it was a big news in all the channels. So this, to surprise the CEO, the people have planned to lift him through crane and like Akshay Kumar entry. So that's what they have planned. And the CEO, who is like late 50s, early 60s, so was not prepared. But when it was surprise came, he has agreed. Okay, let's do it. So, but the fear is there in the heart. So heart has not listened, mind has listened, but the fear is there. So when it was unfortunate incident from a 20-25 feet height, there was some malfunction on the crane. When it was coming down, due to heart attack, he passed away. It was an unfortunate incident. Police came, whom they have to arrest, the security officer and the GM of the hotel. Correct. So it is the duty of also security to check that whether it is functioning properly or not. But are our security empowered? Are our security has that talent to check? Okay, so there are multiple incidents, fire incidents happened, multiple fire incidents. Will not have to go to 5 years back. Last 2 years at least, 5 big fire incidents, Patna, Lucknow, Bombay, Delhi, in hotel industry due to the what you call the fire panel was not working, and it has not given us the signal for the smoke detectors are not working and all. It is also the job of the security. Okay, so we want a person who has to join at the lowest salary of the hotel industry. Hotel sir knows that the hotel's budget's lowest thing is security. On the commercial part, lowest, and we want the L1 price. We want the lowest price, but we want that person has to take care of the highest responsibility. He is the first point of contact for my guest. He has to take care of my fire fighting systems. He has to take care of my event management and all, which are not possible things. So, as industry, we have to evolve. We have to understand the need, and we have to treat them as human. So, suppose that guy, if we put a chair for them to sit, nothing wrong in that. But we are in that old frame of mind. Okay, अरे गेस्ट आ रहे हैं, उनको खड़े होके सैल्यूट मारना है. ठीक है, चेयर डालने में कुछ भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता. गेट के सामने चेयर में बैठ सकते हैं. एवरी टाइम गेस्ट इज नॉट कमिंग, सो यू हैव टू बी ह्यूमन. सो हम वो नहीं देख रहे हैं. वी जस्ट लुक एट वेदर सिक्योरिटी हैज डन द जॉब और नॉट. करेक्ट.
True, and absolutely, training does form part of this entire system that you want to do. However, in the interest of time, I'll move forward from people into probably infra, right? So people is one part. We talked about a little bit on technology, which we will talk a little more on, because the human and the technology integration is the most important as of now today. But infra does play an important role. So, Baba, coming to you, sorry, Babajan,
No worries.
I'm used
Thank
to
you.
calling you.
People call me Baba.
Yeah, so, in your views, how do you really improve upon the existing infra, or existing security infra, if I may say so, in this sector?
Thanks, Puneet. I think this is the most interesting question. We don't get budget, right, Colonel? You agree with me, right? So what are we going to do with the existing infra what we have? Hospitality sector is a very unique sector, and we know that our nation is doing great in terms of all the businesses, right? And hospitality is one of them, and it is generating revenue. After COVID, yes, it had a hit, and then they're pulling back. You could see the tariffs which have gone up, or the event which is happening right now in ITC, right? So rates across the city has gone up. So we are doing really great as nation, as a state, right, where we are right now in Tamil Nadu. Now, security in the hospitality industry comes up with a lot of risk, right? Whether it is, guest information, whether it is, infra, or whether it is the existing systems what are there which cannot be upgraded, right? So from my side, I would like to highlight 3 key initiatives, or I would say 3 key areas where we have the existing setup. And this has gone beyond, having the traditional security guards or the CCTVs, right? Because now the security is predominantly, proactive. With the rising digitalization, evolving threats, and the rise of the guest expectations, right? This needs to be addressed at a very early stage. Now, what I can think about is surveillance, a smart surveillance. We do have a CCTV, right? Colonel sir, if I may have to ask you, how many cameras would you roughly have in this huge property? 760, right? And how many staff will you have to monitor? Okay, so that's the answer, right? So this is the first infra, which is the most critical part for us, right? Which is CCTV and access control. Now, 760 cameras being monitored by, let's assume he gets 3 people, 8-hour shift, coming from a remote place, right? Do you think he will give us the right result? No. We have spent, a lot on it. So what we can do is we can have technology, right, where we can integrate it with AI, right, and we can have facial recognition and behavioral analytics, which can reduce the amount of stress or the work what these 2 guards or 3 guards have to go through to monitor 760 cameras, right? So that's first thing which we can do. It might add on to little bit of a upgradation and cost to your existing budget, but yes, the results are going to be favorable. Now the second thing what I want to talk about, the area where we can improve, is access control. Access control is predominantly the the key factor which plays in the hotel industry or in hotels. We have got heart of the house, we have back of the house, we have got common areas, we have got restricted areas, right? Now, after pandemic, most of the hospitality sector have moved from traditional giving away the keys to digital keys. Now, digital keys are mobile phone enabled so that it restricts unauthorized entry into our rooms or into the area where the staff have to work or to a place where the critical infrastructure of the hotel is placed, right? So by implementing this small things, which is not going to add a lot in terms of cost, we can achieve it, right? And these are all existing setups what I'm talking about currently. The second point what I want to make is, which is very important, that's cybersecurity and crisis management and data protection. Now, cybersecurity, as we all know, it's like the king right now. Everybody wants to talk about it, right? Now, how are we going to enable this? As soon as we come into a hotel, what do we think first? What comes to our mind as we go and do the check-in? Oh, okay, मेरे को अभी पासपोर्ट निकालना है, आधार कार्ड निकालना है, हाँ दे दो, ओके, दे दिया. उसके बाद क्या होता है? What happens after that? Nobody knows. आपने दे दिया, चाबी ले लिया, हाँ भाई चलो, okay, just show me the elevator, right? I just want to go into the room. Okay, what happens with your P2 information or PII information, which is personal identifiable information, right? So cybersecurity needs to be enhanced. We need to have AI-based fraud, detection systems, which can eventually tell the existing booking system that this is not a, a fraud booking which has come where a credit card has been skimmed. We give a lot of data, right? Our guest data is with the hotels. We've got our credit card data, which is with the hotel, right? So they needs to be stored. It needs to be saved properly so that we don't end up in any of the scams, right? Or it might be a breach. If there is a breach, we are going to lose the trust of the customer, end of the day. And we hear a lot, right? Okay, this got, compromised, that got compromised, this bank, that company. Now, I mean, this is every day's news, right? But how are we going to improve this? By just implementing it could be an AI-based, breach detection, right? The second point what I want to make over here in this cybersecurity and data protection is network security, which may look very, very hard to understand, but I'll just make it very simple for you. As soon as we come to the hotel, what do? Arey chalo, sabse pehle Wi-Fi connect karna hai, right? We have unlimited data, but again, we want to connect to a free Wi-Fi. Now, how much free is it? We don't know. Who is monitoring? We don't know. Where is the data going? Where is it transmitted? Is somebody watching you? As soon as you connect, we don't know, right? So the best part to do this or to secure this in hospitality industry, or for that matter, any service industry, is to implement WPA3 encryption, which is a simple thing. It might add a little bit of, cost to your existing budget, but yes, it's going to give you great results end of the day, where everything is safe and secure, right? And then you need to segregate the network in 3 levels. If it is a, if it is a hotel, for example, one network which is dedicated for guests, the other one is for the staff, the third one is predominantly for the critical infrastructure of the hotel. Say it could be your server, it could be your booking tools, it could be your your reservation systems, it could be your payment systems, right? Where we store a lot of critical information. So all this segregation will give us, end of the day, a fruitful result, and there will be limited unauthorized access. And if we implement WPA3, which is Wi-Fi protected access, 3 encryption, there is very limited chance of anybody, attacking, or, you ending up into a cyber attack. The last and the final thing what I want to conclude in terms of the existing infra what we have is about crisis management, right? Colonel sir, again back to you. I'm pointing at you because you are the only one who can answer us, right? Being ITC, right? It's a chain of hotels, right? If this hotel is down, for example, I can give you an example where I was involved, right? If you are down, can you get help from your sister companies or sister hotels, being ITC, outside of this Chennai hotel? For your crisis management or response? Anything. It is nothing to do with cyber. Let's go with natural calamity.
See, like here in Chennai, there are we have 4 hotels which are a part of the ITC chain. One is the one at Gopalapuram, one is in Mahabalipuram. The ITC chain has 4 hotels over here. Yeah, Mike, I just put it on. Yeah, hello. It's okay if we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Colonel.
Yeah, so we have 4 hotels over here. One is in Mahabalipuram, one is on GST Road, and other is in the city proper. So sometimes what happens when there was a recent floods in the Chennai city the last year, immediately there was a big rush due to BCP programs for various other companies. We had people rushing in from various companies, multinational, who were coming and staying in a hotel to carry on their operation because the staff could not go to the respective workplaces. So in such scenarios, we also integrate those hotels and we start sending the people. Let's say you are our customer, but you don't have space. We have only 50 rooms, but you want 90 rooms. So we send the rest of them to other hotels. That's one thing we do, number one. Number two, when it comes to our data protection, we have very strict laws and rules, and a lot is spent on that. And we are vertical for that. IT vertical itself, it takes care of the IT systems and your cyber security and all these things. And thirdly, coming to Wi-Fi, this Wi-Fi is only given to the guest and not to the staff. They have to use their own, whatever it is, nothing. So there's no way that anybody can go here from there and there to here. That's not possible at all. And then coming on to this integration, instead of having this integration within the hotel, because most of the hotels, there may be only 1 or 2 in each city. It may not be possible. In case of ITC, though we are there, like we are like the godfather, the rest are all very small hotels. We send our help from here to them. If vice versa, is not much possible. But on the contrary, we as security managers in the city, we having our own WhatsApp group and networks where we keep networking, and we've been very successful in breaking some of the incidences which happen. If I can have some time, I can give within 1 minute.
Please,
Can
go
I?
ahead. Yeah.
See, one early morning, around 7:30, one gentleman checked in the hotel, and he came and he just started shouting, I'm coming from the governor's secretariat. I come to meet the president's secretariat, coming to meet the governor. I have a conference here. And he was in a jeans and a blazer. And I want a room immediately. Where's my room? I'm booked for a suit, or blah, blah, and all that. So the GRE who was there, she said, sir, this man is creating a ruckus. I said, no problem, we'll keep a track of him. I told CCTV, keep tracking him. And this man came and sat, he was given a room immediately. I said, I don't have time to pay, I had to go, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do the payment also, he just gave a card number and went away to the room. Then moment he went in, the driver came, who brought him in, and he said, there's a man who came inside with so-and-so description, he has not paid my cab money still. He came from the railway station, no, from the airport, So, okay, I immediately sent my supervisor to his room. I told the CCTV to keep him on track. My supervisor went knocking and he's ringing on the phone. He said, I'm taking a bath, I'm coming. In the meantime, when I check the CCTV, before the security and the front office can go to the room, 2 minutes before he's gone down the lift and gone to the Velavan porch. There he has gone and contacted GRE and he booked a cab from the hotel itself, costing 1,400, telling he dropped me at the governor's house, had to go to the governor's house. So luckily, since we knew he was a bogus, we rang up the driver and told him, please take the money, don't drop him, or bring him back to the hotel. So he took the money and dropped him there. The moment this happened, I had this photograph, I put it on the particular group. After that, from there, he's taken a cab and gone to Novotel. And he had a booking in Novotel, similarly he had a booking here. And there, once he saw the photo, what I sent, they got alerted, they didn't give him a place to stay. They didn't give him a place to stay there. And from there he moved out. From there he went to Taj. From there he went to Taj Hotel. And there he tried to fool some people. And then he got away, had a breakfast, free breakfast, and walked away from there. Yeah. And after this had happened, he didn't stop there. So, Pacc hired, and this man had owed Pacc hired 21,000 rupees in the month of January. He had come, stayed, enjoyed, and gone. This was happening in the month of March, April. So the security officer Pacc hired, he got alerted, and Hyatt Regency was also alerted. So next from Taj, the closest next hotel is Hyatt Regency. He took an auto rickshaw, came to Hyatt Regency. The moment he came there, the security officer informed the Pacc head that he's in my hotel. They hold him, please hold him there. And then the police then brought him, gave him a nice parade, but he didn't have a single paisa to do it. And after 1 week, the same guy was spotted in Madurai again. So this network of ours is very helpful. That's the only saving grace for us. And we keep breaking so many cases like this.
So in this case, right, what I wanted to make a point was, if you as ITC, a long chain, right, a big chain, it could be Taj, it could be Oberoi's, it could be Leela's of the world, or the ITCs. If you have a joint security operations center, right, where you can communicate and respond to any of these kind of situation, it becomes very easy and it's going to save a lot of time for you. And that's the point what I wanted to make. If you can set up something, say for example, JSOC, Joint Security Operations Center, right? And then you can also have your systems integrated with the local law officials or authorities. Say for example, your fire alarm system, it needs to be connected with your local, which we don't do in India. None of the hotels do, right? Or do we have a system where we can have, say for example, panic button? It's not going to cost you more than $3,000, right? We have got so many consultants here. They'll install it in key areas, especially in the reception area. Okay, great. You have it. Predominantly, most of the hotels in India, they don't do. So these are few things which we can, focus on, and we can have the infra, upgraded with the existing setup what we have. Thank you, Puneet. I think we have taken a lot of time.
Yeah, so I think time is definitely, as I said, it's good, it's interactive, so it's fine rather than a monotone one way. But yeah, we are out of time. So if there's any final questions that any of the audience wants to have the panel members? Yeah, please. There are a few questions. Can we take a few?
Yes, a small suggestion on this. This incident this gentleman was explaining about, a very simple solution is available in the access control system, wherein you install either a facial recognition system or a biometric system in one of your hotels, and these are interconnected with all your hotels. Anybody like this walks in and you have an incident like that, you can alert all your hotels. In fact, all the law and order agencies as well as other hotels as well, wherein the face recognition is done. And immediately the information goes to all across. This has been happening in many government offices also as well, who have several branches. So anybody registers himself as a guest. He today is in Mumbai and tomorrow he is in Calcutta, enters somewhere. You get a complete record of that person, what time he entered and what time he went out and all that. So you don't have to go through this tiring process of what you had.
Yeah, no, this one, within the ITC domain as such, we have the database of all the guests. Let's say a person checked in here today. Tomorrow is going to check in Maurya or in Maratha. They log on and check in. They come to, he's come to where X, Y, Z. But when it comes to in the city, inter hotels.
Correct.
Intra hotel is all in the thing. Inter hotels is where these things are not existing.
So they won't exist also because of client data. They will not be able to share it.
Privacy.
Sir, data privacy we are talking. Data privacy, one of the largest chain of hotel, we all know, November 2023, 1.5 million customer data has been leaked. 1.5 million, and when we are talking about hotel data is like a transparent data. My mobile number, my credit card, my family information, my girlfriend information, everything is there with hotel. Correct. So that all the data, not sir, not for me. I'm just.
Yeah, the DPDP Act.
So let's take a few. Let's take a question.
I will add one more thing for this problem solution. They can very well immediately inform to the local control room, so that the police they have now CCTNS system. You look at from the larger angle, it's not only he is enjoying the hospitality, but the underlying fact will be some criminal activity will be definitely there. That's a more important and security risk to the society. So such cases, or immediately any hospitality industry, they can inform to the local control room with the photograph that is uploaded in the CCTV system, he records on that. That's number one. And other thing, we have been talking about app and relating. I mean, sync up. We have been talking about much about airport and hospitality industry. Definitely there will be a variations. The sense, one is the hospitality industry is like a VIP security. Like any top dignitary, even the law enforcement, when they protect, they have to blend risk and facilitations. Here, when the customer comes, he is looking after more of facilitations. He doesn't bother about the risk. So we need to blend proper risk and facilitation aspects, because ultimately at the end of the day, it is your business. Your business goes for the security. Business head will say, no, nothing, I might not to survive. When I survive, only you will survive on that. So proper blending. The takeaway is a proper blending, and the blending varies from occasion to occasion, time and space.
Very true.
Then other thing is the guard training, because humans are very important on that any business, because the entry point and the exit point is a human being. Especially when it comes to the service industry, the first impression is for the better for the business also. You have to impress upon the head of the business, not only we do security, we do business also for you, because when first what I get impressions, that's the impression on your business. What you give inside is doesn't matter. What I enter into the entry, that impressions have a holocaust effect, what you give inside. Similarly, when I exit, that will have a leftover effect on me psychologically. So these two aspects we have to impress upon. I am from the service, I was a former IPS officer, because in police also, the lowest end, whatever the higher end we give, that doesn't matter, but the lowest end, the cutting edge, what it makes. So this we need to train and understand both the thing on that. Then lastly, the technology integration with the human being is much, much more important. For example, the colonel will understand, even in the scanning missions we are doing, what scanning we are doing? We are just for this compliance sake we are doing on that, nothing else. Mr. Puneet sir also has said that how the many occasions have failed. Many occasions have failed because of all the error and complacency. Like a metal detector, HHMD, what for it is made? It is to detect the metals. But everybody you scan on that, everybody times it makes a beep, beep, beep noise. Whereas you go into airport, where the CISF guard scans, any sounds comes, he say, go out and take out and come back on that. That serves the purpose. Why he doesn't serve the purpose? It is only a myth. So this we need to make, understand and integrate with human intelligence, with the technology. And as Pradesh sir also saying that lot of technical upgradation on that. And finally, human rotations. We need not have sitting on lot, but everybody can be rotated security 3 hours, not more than that. You can have 3 people, 2 hours, rotate in all the posts. That will have more enhanced security, reduce the risk and other thing. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
something for
So,
Pramod.
Puneet, and just taking off from where KVS left just now, I'm not going to talk about technology at all. I want to ask a very basic question. I also go to a lot of 5 stars, and I always get a false sense of security when I enter. Right from my car, they say bonnet kholo, they open, they close it, आगे एक दरवाजा खोलो खोलो, अंदर जाते हो अगरबत्ती की माफी तो ऊपर नीचे करता है. So I'm wondering, why are we doing it? Because everybody knows that nothing is happening out here. So since there are a lot of security experts here, what is the reason for this? Please, sir.
This is nothing. Anything you do a check on any premises, whether it is IT company or hotel and all that. The person who has a criminal background, he or she will not enter in any such places where such checks are going to happen. Because this is nothing but a deterrent, nothing else. That is
Checking you that we just discussed. He's hardly paid any money. He's not even trained.
correct. But it's not only one check. There are so many checks are there. So yeah, it's just like human behavior. That's it, nothing else.
But-
See,
but sir-
हम लोग ऐसे देश में रहते हैं जहाँ पे आदमी अपनी सहूलियत के लिए सब कंप्रोमाइज कर लेता है. मक्खी अगर चाय में गिरेगी तो चाय फेंक देंगे और अगर घी में गिरेगी.
It's all about
So it's all about psychology.
No, but
nothing else.
sir, I think this is the forum where we have to address this question, because अगर यहाँ पे address नहीं हुआ तो कहाँ पे होगा ये address? These are the places where we have to address these questions कि क्यों दिखा रहे हैं? Everyone knows कोई नहीं check हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. But we are still continuing because somebody has told. Nobody is willing to tell the emperor that he's not wearing any clothes.
No, and that actually gets back, you have very rightly mentioned, right? That's the core problem. Obviously,
take
we
2
are
minutes.
looking at human behavior primarily to control this.
I'll say one sentence. So checking this, you're right, sir. But there are many occasions where I have, or rather we, my guards, have caught knives, pistols, and various other things. And the baggage scanner, there have been times when, well, even last week also we caught hookahs. People want to come and do hookahs. And then next is your weapons, which they keep in the baggage, and liquor bottles. A person's going a 2-room booking, he's taking 8 bottles and going. And then we stop the liquor and we put the room on tracking. There are 10 of his friends coming in the night to make a party. So we do all this. This may sound very silly and simple here in such a big forum, but every small little drops of water do grains of sand make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land.
So I just make a quick submission. So I represent the government side. I am a DDG in Fire Service, Civil Defense and Home Guards, and I'm IPF officer of 2007 batch. I have worked with Delhi Police for almost 16 years. So I'll dwell upon what Mr. Baba said, one of the panelists, and almost reiterated by some of the audience here. Quickly, number one, one of the panelists mentioned that there is very little budget allocation when it comes to security. Now, one of the member, in the end, he has subtly touched upon the mandatory statutory requirement under the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. It is mandatory as a data fiduciary, which is like an entity. A hotel is an entity where you are safeguarding the personal information of your customer. And you are bound to protect that data, and for that a budgetary allocation is must. Failing which there is a penalty which is substantial, and it is there in the statute, has already been passed by the parliament. So you can, the policy makers, when you have your dialogue with your respective finance department, you can push upon this concept. The penalty is huge, so it's a trade-off, whether you lose money here or you lose a big amount of money there. So number one. Number two, I think it came from, once again, from Baba only. Sorry, I'm calling it. So it was NCRB. Down below the NCRB in form of islands, this data exists in the respective state data centers, which police is managing or monitoring. But now a very beautiful system, it's a Government of India scheme, and you must listen to that. And how you can dwell and capitalize on that, I just want to touch upon in 2 minutes. There is a Government of India scheme we have just begun around 5 years ago. It's called the Safe City Project. In bigger cities, MHA is funding this project. For Delhi, MHA has provided roughly around 900 CR. It is in the final stages. Telangana has it, Andhra has it, I think Bombay has it. So this Safe City project is our data center in the back end, and there are around 32 data lakes. So what is this data lake? This data lake is drawn from many sub-servers of the government and the private entities, transportation hubs, airports, railway stations, like ticketing counters of the railway stations, our criminal databases. We are in process. The system has configuration for this. We in due course will receive some component of the data which is there with the hospitality sector also. So that it's a very cost intensive application. So that if any rowdy element of any sorts checks in a hotel, and if he's a listed delinquent or a criminal, a flag will be generated at our end. It is our responsibility, the police responsibility, to reach out to you, alert you, so and so person, because it's not humanly possible. Somebody coming from Kerala, checking in Chennai, he would not know, he would never know. But the system is such, it will fetch the data, a delinquent listed in Kerala, they are in the database, a trigger the moment he checks in any one of these hotels. But for that, there has to be a principal agreement between the hospitality sector and the government sector to share certain component of the personal information. Like you are bound, I am also bound in Delhi police or any police, I am also a fiduciary. It is my responsibility, I will make sure through network security, server security, endpoint terminal security, that none of the personal information which you are providing me temporarily or for a finite period of time, I will make sure that this doesn't leaks out. It's a reality. Our personal information is all available on dark web. Probably mine also will be there somewhere on the dark web. But we have made some humble beginning because we have appreciated that this is reality and something needs to be done. So I just wanted to touch upon these two parts. Please capitalize over and start internal thinking within your sector that how exactly you can collaborate with the new initiatives and innovation in IT sector which is coming from the Government of India. Thank you.
Thank you.
On a lighter note here, if this is implemented, the police is going to have a tough time.
This is the future going to happen.
About more than 80% of the MPs and MLAs would be flagged each time. Sorry, that was on the lighter side.
There'll also be a white list to take care of it, so it's okay. There'll also be a white list to take care of it, so it's fine. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, I was just wondering, sir, we have this entire forum has spoken on your behalf for 45 minutes, sir. Maybe one. You just need to show the clipping to your management now.
No, so I think in the interest of time, firstly, want to thank, and I just want to leave one thought. We've heard a lot from the audience, which is good. So it is a dire need for all of us to kind of get off the system. But one thing I'd like to leave, and I'm telling you primarily from what I've seen, and Pramod will primarily agree with me there, is that we as security professionals always feel apologetic to go and ask for budgets or to go and kind of put a point across, right? Whereas the technology guys or the IT guys don't do that. So they get the budgets, we don't. I think that thought process has to get reversed. It is reversing, I'm not saying it is not, but it still has to go out more aggressively. And I think with both of them coming together, if you have the right integration of both of them, we are in a good state. But that's where we need to move forward. And I agree, we will have these controls in over a period of time. There will be whitelists, there will be all data available. There is a lot of data available. It's just that the collaboration in the data has to further increase.
Well, sir.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for your time, and you had something. Okay, thank you for your time, and appreciate, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for the entire eminent panelists. They need a round of applause, please. And thank you to the audience as well. It was a wonderful panel discussion. This was the more interactive session we had, and we look forward for such sessions. So thanks a lot. And we have the one more panel discussion in main hall now, which will be followed now.